Welcome everyone to this joint webinar between Schiller International University and the United Nations Institute for Training and Research on how to become a global leader with UNITAR and Schiller University Master in International Relations and Diplomacy. I will wait 20 additional seconds for more participants to join, and then we will start the webinar. I will wait another 30 seconds for more participants. I will start now. So hello, everyone. Welcome again. My name is Miriam Cucarella here at the United Nations Institute for Training and Research in the Division for People and Social Inclusion, and I will be moderating this webinar today. Among the many partnerships that our division has, this partnership with Schiller International University aims to provide career opportunities for future professionals in the areas of most interest for the international community, adapted to the need of this change. First, I'm going to explain the structure of this webinar. So first, we will have the presentations by the speakers, Mr. Miguel Ángel Benedicto and Dr. Miriam Benrad. During their presentations, the questions and answer box in Zoom will be available for the audience to ask questions. After the presentations of the speakers, we will conduct a poll to get to know the audience of this webinar, what are your background, your interests, etc. Once the poll has been released and done, we will have a short Q&A session where the speakers and panelists will answer the questions that have been gathering during the presentations. So I hope everything is clear. Please use the chat for any other issues that may arise. So let's start with our first speaker. Our first speaker is Dr. Miguel Ángel Benedicto, is Schiller's Program Lead for International Relations and Diplomacy. He holds a PhD in International Relations from the Complutense University of Madrid. He has a degree in Law from the University of Zaragoza, in Information Sciences from the Complutense University of Madrid, and in Political Sciences from the National Distance Education University. His research areas include the European Union, foreign policy, security and defense, and communication policy, and public diplomacy. He is a member of the research team for the project of public diplomacy of American megacities, communication strategies and soft power to influence, global environmental legislation. As a consultant, he has worked for the European Parliament and the European Commission at various times. And as a journalist, he collaborates with various media outlets and has served as the head of international affairs for Telemadrid as a founding member of La Razón. He is co-president of the European Cultural Itinerary via Charlemagne and has been a member of the board of the International European Movement. Please, Miguel Ángel Benedicto, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you so much to UNITAR for this opportunity to speak about this really interesting Master in International Relations and Diplomacy, and also thank you very much to my university, to Schiller University. Okay, first of all, I would like to speak about the globalized and international and interdependent international society that generates a series of complexities and uncertainties now in the world. Next slide, please. We have a next one, please. We have a next one. We have a war in Ukraine, for example, that has triggered the inflation, the price of food, and also this war in Ukraine is transforming now the global energy model. Also, this war is varying, no, the way of war at this moment, no, with cyber warfare, drones, etc. And also it's changing the relations, no, for example, between the West and the global South, Also, we can see a different involvement of international organizations like NATO or the United Nations, for example. And even we can see the application of economic sanctions in Russia, the geopolitical awakening of the European Union, and transnational migratory movements. No? We can see at this moment that there are different career opportunities for the people that is going to be graduate in this master program. I think that the people that is participating, that is going to participate in this master must be prepared to apply their skills to such events. The events that I said, no, this war in Ukraine, you can see different events, no, inflation, you can see migratory movements, you can see climate change, you can see geopolitics, you can see economic sanctions, etc. No, there is a new geopolitical landscape at this moment. Okay, the graduates of this master must be qualified professionals able to adapt to technological, legal, social, economic, and political change in the international arena. No? The complex relations between different actors. No? We can see different actors and factors in the global events, actors like individuals, like non-state actors, like NGOs, like international organizations, like, I don't know, for example, transnational terrorism, etc. No? And all these actors and factors require professionals capable of analyzing, managing, directing, communicating, and seeking new solutions to these situations, no? to this world that we are living at this moment. Okay, the master program meets the demand of increasingly complex societies that are in continuous change and require such profiles, but with great adaptability to changes. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, and I think that it's very important in this case, the partnership between Schiller University and a really big important organization like the United Nations. I think that the collaboration of United Nations, the partnership of United Nations, of UNITAR in this master program, ensure a quality mark by having an international organization like United Nations and its long experience. Okay, next slide, please. Next one. We are going to see now the career opportunities for graduates, no? Graduates in this master. Okay, the interdisciplinary training of the master program will allow for diverse professional activities in all fields, okay, related to international relations, both, for example, in the public and also in the private sector. No? As well as in teaching and research, for example. Okay, graduates of this master program will be able to work in the following fields. No? In the public sector, you can see here the public sector opportunities, government and European Union positions, for example. Okay, you can pursue careers in the intergovernmental organizations, the Foreign Service, European Union, often requiring competitive examinations. Okay, and also you have also to be an official, if you are official of regional, to be an official of regional intergovernmental organization or global intergovernmental organization, and also if you want to be an analyst of information and intelligence services, for example. Okay, this is something normal in the public sector. Next slide, please. If we are going to see the private sector, okay, we can see that the graduates can become risk analysts in multinational corporations, navigating the complexities of global business environments. Okay, you can work also in the world of international consulting. No? There is a demand for consultant advisors in the international policy and affairs, as well as specialized, for example, journalists in international news. Okay, you can see people from multinational companies dedicated to international trade, consultants, advisors on international policy, okay, advisors also in international security and defense, or journalists specialized in international information. Next one, please. We can see also a mixed sector between public and private and also the academia. No, there are new sectors where you can work, okay, if you have a master of this type, okay? You can work in an NGO, for example, with a communication role, no? You can be a communication manager in an NGO or in an intergovernmental organization, for example, okay? You can be a consultant in development cooperation and humanitarian aid projects and actions. And also you can participate in international programs and projects in international organizations and also in civil society organizations. Or you can be an activist in the humanitarian or environmental sector. And I think that this is important. If you are going to work, for example, as a teacher or as a researcher, okay, you can teach at a university level, okay, with this training, no, with this type of master, no, I think that it's important. Also, if you want to direct or to participate in a think tank, okay, you receive a really good training for this type of profession. Okay, not only private and public sector, in this mixed sector also, and also in the university or in the mass media. Okay, next slide, please. If we next one, yeah, thank you. If we are going to see, for example, the structure, no, the interesting structure of this master, you can see different core courses and the skills that you can have, okay, if you are going to do this master. One of the subjects are research methods, okay? The methods of research and analysis of this course provides essential tools for working in international institutions and also for teaching or also for the journalism. We have another course on diplomacy workshop where the students learn policy formulation, representation, diplomatic communication, including cyber diplomacy and the role of diplomacy in commerce. Okay, I think it's very, very complete in this case. Next one, please. You have also specialized international relations courses, no, and a course about the international relations workshop. These courses open the doors to diplomatic works and NGO involvement, no, addressing issues like global health, climate change, or regional development, for example. And also you can see another course on conflict and peace strategies, no, the students could explore the conflict sources and resolution mechanisms, including the role of the United Nations Security Council, international law in military and humanitarian intervention. Okay, it's very good for diplomats, also for militaries, also for if you are going to work in international organizations, companies, consulting, etc. Next one. We have another courses in economics, in international law, and in the human rights. No, if we are going to analyze, for example, the international laws, this course provides a broad platform to describe the main elements of public international law and the formal structure of the international legal system. No? It's very interesting for diplomats, for civil servants, lawyers, and also for consultants. You have another course on international economic problems, and you can examine the global trade theory, finance, the current regime. You can address the income distribution and poverty. It's very good if you are going to work in a multinational company, for example, or in an economic international organization. And also we have a course on human rights. No, it's you can explore critically, you know, the different approaches of the human rights. No, it's relevant for communication roles in NGOs, for example, and international civil society organizations. Next one, please. Finally, we have also some courses that are focused on business, and we have also a final project. Okay, one of the courses of business is advanced topics in international business. No, it's a course designed to allow through evaluation and analysis of a specific institution or an issue of interest to international business. It's very useful, for example, for you think when I spoke at the beginning about the economic sanctions on Russia and their effects, okay? We are going to work in this type of topics. And finally, we have a master thesis topic, no? It's designed to allow the postgraduate students to write their research project in the discipline of international relations and diplomacy. Okay, I think that it's a very, very interesting course. Okay, it's a very complete course with different areas, as you can see: international law, business, international relations, very complete, and it's going to open a lot of professions, okay, from the security and defense to the international business, international organizations, NGOs, humanitarian aid, etc. Okay, thank you very much.
So thank you very much for such interesting insights on how to build a career with Schiller University and UNITAR, especially in the field of international relations and diplomacy, and how this master's adapt to market demands. I would like to remind also that the chat, the Q&A box is available for people to ask any questions that may emerge during the webinar. They would be answered at the very end. We will now move on to our second speaker, which is Dr. Miriam Benrad. So Dr. Miriam Benrad is known for her extensive research on Iraq and ISIL, is the Global Academic Chair for International Relations and Diplomacy at Schiller International University in Paris. She fosters global awareness and innovative learning, renowned political scientist specializing in Middle East studies. She holds a PhD from Sciences Po, and Benrad has authored numerous books and research papers on Middle Eastern politics, and it's a frequent expert source in French and international media. So please, Dr. Miriam Benrad, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for this introduction. Thank you for hosting me, for presenting our joint master's degree program. So my colleague already provided some background about the geopolitical context, some of the most pressing issues that all students and many professionals face today regarding our field, international relations, and also diplomacy that has also in many ways made its comeback. So I'm going to bring additional insights into what this Schiller UNITAR joint program can bring to you as prospective students. Next slide. So very briefly, I will insist on the idea of turning you as prospective students into global leaders, and what the process consists of when you enroll in the master's degree program. So first of all, this idea of, but it's also been emphasized by my colleagues, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but this whole idea that you're gonna gain a global experience. The whole world will be in a way available to you. We have 4 campuses, one in Madrid, one in Paris, one in Heidelberg, and one in the US, and we favor intermobility. So you can, it's maybe less the case when you study with within the master's degree program because it's only a year, but you still have the potential to explore other premises. The idea is to turn you into global citizens and ultimately, after graduation, into global leaders with a sense of what leadership, what leading positive change means. Next slide. So you'll find our global statement on Schiller International University's website. I think it's an important statement. because it really encapsulates what we want to do, what our academic model is about. We want to favor a global mindset among our students. And I would like to say very briefly that all our students come from all over the world. So this globalized complexity is also reflected within the classroom. You'll be studying with students from the Americas, from Europe, from Asia, from Africa. We have a very diverse body of students. This is also, as I said, favored by these 4 locations that we have, and the idea of gaining a global learning experience. And I'm going to focus on this idea of experiential learning because I really think that it is at the heart of the partnership that we have passed with UNITAR. Next slide. So what is the first idea? The first concept we want to cultivate among our students is the idea that you are becoming global students. Next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. Yes. So what are you going to learn? You heard some examples. My colleague talked about some courses that you can take: international business. You'll have workshops on diplomacy, whether historical or practical, and you will be exposed to 4 main, I would say 4 main rubrics of knowledge: global political dynamics, and it's very important indeed that my colleague said a few words about North-South relations, for instance, or the question of multilateralism, because this is really what we want to do. We are exposing you to very diverse and global logics, and not just from a Western point of view. We want to diversify the standpoints. So this is also reflected in the knowledge, in the different activities you will be working on, and reflected, as I said, because the students, most of our students come from very different places. You'll navigate diplomacy and the current challenges of diplomacy, economic insights, innovation for global challenges. And I'm going to say a few more words later on the question of challenges and experiential learning. Next slide. So here you will find the detailed curriculum. So you can see some of the courses that were mentioned by my colleague. And you see the diversity of courses that you will follow. Starting with methods of research and analysis. This is a key course because you'll be working on a dissertation thesis. And you can also see on this graph the joint courses with UNITAR. So the course on international organizations will be delivered jointly with UNITAR. The course on human rights, and most importantly, what does this partnership with UNITAR bring to you in addition to what Schiller offers you? You will be following a fellowship program with UNITAR, working on a sustainable practical project, and you will also do an internship. So all of this means that you combine theoretical conceptual knowledge, which is a key aspect of any master's degree, with the more practical aspect of things that will make you a highly employable student on the labor market. And this is really what we want. We want upon graduation that our students are either already employed or that you're fully prepared for embracing your future career. Next slide. So now the question of global citizens. You are transformed, turned into global students, but this also means being global citizens. Next slide. So what do I mean by being global citizens? You will be working on very concrete challenges. So for instance, I teach a few courses every year, 5 courses with Schiller, apart from my more administrative function. And we worked with one of my classes on fake news. This was in partnership with Be Challenge, which is a startup based in Barcelona, Spain. And we worked on fake news, but not just identifying and analyzing fake news, but trying to develop answers, concrete policy actions to fight against disinformation, fake news. We also have a partnership with Harvard Business Publishing. I think it's important to mention this. I worked on 2 case studies with my students this semester, one on Henry Kissinger's diplomatic victories, and one on the search for global regulation. And all of this, again, reflecting on current issues, current challenges. So this is not abstract. It's always very concrete. And you work in the classroom with different groups of students. It's extremely interactive. And we want you to be put in real world scenarios and propose, as I said, tangible actions. So real world projects, global business dynamics, it's very important. It's not speaking about the sectors in which you can be employed. Yes, the private sector is a key sector, actually, in addition to international organizations, NGOs, the media, and many different intelligence careers, many different perspectives that you can develop as the global professional that we're trying to shape. Next slide. So intercampus experience, focused experiential learning, real-world problem solving, and global collaboration. I already said this, but these are the 4 pillars of our academic model, which is implemented in all campuses. So we try to really standardize, harmonize the experience for all our students. And you can see that it's really based on experience. We go to conferences in Paris, for instance, we go to art exhibitions, we meet very different people, you'll be exposed to guest speakers within the classroom. So this is the model that Schiller has adopted and that I think we are deepening through this partnership with UNITAR, of course. Next slide. So now, why are you and how are you prepared to become global leaders? Next slide. I said a lot of things, but to give you one more example, and then I will say a few words about what working with UNITAR means for you and for us as Schiller International University. But for instance, we organized a very interesting career day in Paris last June, during which our students, freshly graduated, could speak with professionals, could share tips, could be advised in addition to everything they had been provided. And UNITAR, in this case, takes us, I think, one step further, because you'll be working with a key agency of the United Nations. You'll have the opportunity of doing an internship. There's, of course, the great graduation ceremony. You can find photos and see, you know, how things happen at Schiller, but this is indeed a very important moment every academic year. There's the fellowship program that I mentioned. This is a 4-day learning opportunity before graduation. You will be certified by UNITAR, which is also something that will enhance your employability, and mentored by UNITAR, mentored, of course, by faculty at Schiller, but regarding your professional development, working with UNITAR will be, of course, a unique asset as compared with what other programs propose. Next slide. So this is the summary of the degree program. 1 year, 12 months. The language is English. You have, as I said, the opportunity of following the master's degree in 4 different places, the 4 campuses of Schiller. It's mainly on campus. We do sometimes have hybrid formats, but the idea is mainly on campus. One important thing, it's a dual degree, both American and European, because Schiller International University has a partnership with the University of Roehampton in the UK. So you also have, you also graduate from the University of Roehampton. You have a dual degree, which is also something unique we propose. And the credits, 30 6 American credits, which is the equivalent of 45 for the University of Roehampton. So that's the main, these are the main characteristics of the program. Next slide. So I would be, we're not going to discuss this now. I will be glad to take your questions, to answer your questions, but I think it would be worth for you reflecting on which global leader you would like to become and what would make sense. Next slide. By following this program, and I think this is important for me to also, of course, encourage everyone attending today to contact our recruitment team. All the contacts are on our website, on the brochure of the master's degree online on schiller.edu, which is our main website. So I think it's also worth speaking, of course, with our recruitment and admissions teams. Next slide. So thank you very much for attending, for your attention, and I will be glad, as I said, to answer any question that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miriam Benrad. I have, in addition to a presentation that's been very enlightening explaining this master with UNITAR, I have added in the chat the link for Schiller's website that explain in detail all the master's content, etc., so that participants can have more information. So far, we have now 4 questions, but before we go into the questions, I'm gonna submit a poll and launch a poll so that we can understand more of the audience that we have. I believe the question in the poll is now launched, so I encourage participants to participate and answer the questions so that we can get to know more our audience, adapt more of the webinars to what the audience wants, etc.
She's 1999.
So the main questions of our poll are regarding age, where geographical area do you come from, which background of studies do you have, which is your areas of interest for work in the future, so that we can adapt more the content for webinars, the content for possible lectures to the audience that's interested in this master's.
Yep.
So for example, there's a high share of interested audience that's interested in working in international organizations, followed by working in government or NGOs. Also, the background is regarding social sciences or others, and most of the audience comes from Asia, Africa, and Europe in that sense. And the campus of interest is mainly Madrid or Paris campus. So yeah, I repeat the more information from Schiller University. It's in the link that I've put in the chat with the masters. So for now, we have 5 questions in the Q&A box that will be answered shortly by our speakers. And we're now just conducting this point to have a more needs analysis of what the audience wants. I'll give 2 minutes so that we reached at least half of the participants to have answered all the questions, and then I'll go to the questions and answers. Thank you.
United States.
Yeah, most participants have between 6 to 10 years of experience. They come from Africa or Asia, and they're interested. They have a background in business management and others. Please, if you wouldn't mind to specify in the chat what others academic background do you have. and they would be mainly interested in studying the Paris campus and work in international organizations. So I'm going to end the floor now. These are the main results. The most female between 30 and 40 years old. The years of experience are well distributed between most audience, geographical regions, Africa and Asia mainly. And the campus they would, like as I said, is mainly Paris or Madrid. And there's a high interest in working in international organizations, which we believe this partnership with UNITAR will help a lot in their professional life in the future.
Okay. And the biology conditional practice.
So now it's the Q&A. So please, I invite the panelists to answer the questions. I'll read the first question, which is the master's program more intense due to its 1-year duration compared to the typical 2-year duration offered by other universities? So please, I invite you to answer.
Can you see the studies?
Sorry, can we see the questions?
Yeah, can you
Yes.
not see them?
Yes, I see them. So what is the first question?
The first one is the master's program more intense due to its 1-year
I see.
duration compared to the typical 2-year duration offered by other universities?
So it's a 12-month program, but there it's flexible. I mean, some students sometimes can request to graduate a bit later because they intern or they have they're employed or to have a number of courses to complete. We encourage, of course, the students to commit to completing their master's degree, including the dissertation thesis, on time. So this is indeed, I'm not going to lie to you, this is an intense experience. Also because each course is delivered on a monthly basis, which means that you will be following one course each month, which can seem to be intense. But I think at the same time, it allows you to really focus each month with each instructor on one specific thing. And we also work with different people. You heard my colleague in Madrid. He can tell more about professors in Madrid, but we have very different instructors coming from different backgrounds. So yes, you may find it intense, but I think that it's a very worthwhile experience. It's quite unique that we offer. And that also allows you to very quickly, as I said earlier, through these challenges that you will be working on, and now our partnership with UNITAR, to be very quickly ready for embarking on your future career, which may also be more interesting for many students than a 2-year degree.
Thank you for your answer. I would go to the next question, which is if the courses are unavailable to be undertaken ad hoc, or do they need to undertake the entire master's? From George from Australia.
So I'm going to answer this question. Tell me, Miguel, if you want to answer it. We do not offer ad hoc courses. You enroll in a program, the bachelor program or the master's program, but we do not. We are thinking of offering at some point executive education, but for the moment it's you embark on a whole program.
Yeah, if you want the 36 credits, you need to complete all the program. If you want the certifications, you need to complete all the program.
Thank you. We will skip then to the next question, which is an international relations and diplomacy practitioner do you need to maintain continuing professional development, or do you need to be a part of a professional organization?
Germany. Oh, another.
Would you
German?
like to answer, Miguel, so we can?
You need to be a part of professional. I think if you want to do this master, okay, you don't need to be a part of a professional organization, okay? It's not necessary. If you are a professional, perfect, no? I think that you can complete, no, your I think your formation, no, with this type of master, but it's not necessary to be a professional in this case, no? There are a mix of people, no? People that it's professional and people that is not professional, no? It's a mix.
Thank you. We'll skip the next question because I see that our colleague Alexander from Schiller is already answering this question. So what are the main difference between the on-site versus the online program?
Okay, so what we did not mention is what the pedagogical platform that we. Excuse me, there is a voice. It's very. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There's an echo. Yes, it's good now. I was hearing voices. Sorry. So we work with a key learning platform, which is Blackboard Ultra. I don't know if some of you attending the webinar know Blackboard, but Blackboard allows for blended learning both on-site, on campus, and online. So there's a classroom on Blackboard, online classroom that the students join when they take the classes online. And so you're just like on Zoom, but you're on Blackboard and you have your class normally with your instructor. As I said, sometimes the classes are hybrid. So for instance, the last 2 classes I taught in Paris were hybrid. I had students online and in class, but you will always use Blackboard for the course contents, for your assessments, for the bibliographical resources, the textbook. There is one textbook attached to each course. Anything that you do, including the activities, I was mentioning the case study, everything that we do is centralized on Blackboard, which is a very intuitive platform, very practical. And it allows us, as I said, to standardize our academic offering on the 4 campuses, across the 4 campuses.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer, and my apologies for the background noise. I'll answer the next question, which is if there are any certificates for this webinar, and there are not certificates being issued for this webinar, although we will save your email addresses for further interest, if that's correct, or like if you're interested in more webinars in this topic or these areas. So I think the other following questions have already been answered regarding long distance learning with what Miriam, thank you, have already answered about long distance and Blackboard. Yeah, most questions I think are regarding long distance or having to attend in person. And scholarships with our colleague, Alexandra has already provided the link in the questions and answer box before. So please, if you want to check it out.
Yeah, the Dean, Alexandra Aron, she said that we have scholarships and you can check in this link. And also the payment is done in quarterly basis, as she said, in 4 months.
So there's a question regarding when does the master program start, or what are the cohorts that are available? And also there's another very interesting question on how this master's compared to, for example, a master's in science or in Paris can complement or provide you with future career opportunities.
Yes, we have several cohorts each academic year. But I think indeed, as Dr. Aaron mentioned, our dean who's attending the webinar, you should contact the admissions to see what's best for you when you want to start. There's also, of course, if you come from abroad, the visa question, but I think our colleagues at admissions will answer all these practical questions very well. It's very hard, frankly, to compare two institutions because each institution has a specific history, which is the case for both Schiller and Sciences Po. I think what we offer that is unique, as I said, is the experiential learning model, which is not absent in other institutions, but I think that we have been able to come forward with a diversity, a portfolio of experiences, challenges, case studies, outdoor learning, all of these most of the time certified. And now this partnership with UNITAR is something that I think makes us quite on the top of our philosophy regarding, as I said, doing everything so your study is not just something abstract, theoretical, but a real experience that prepares you during the time of your studies for your future career. We focus a lot on employability. So you'll also have actually workshops, employability workshops during the program, working on your CV. I was mentioning the Career Day in Paris. I delivered a workshop on writing skills, how to brand yourself, how to write a good application letter, things like that. So this is really very tangible, and maybe Miguel wants to add something.
Oh, I think that
So you're
Thank you.
muted, Miguel.
Yeah, you were muted.
Yeah.
No, you're not muted.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your questions. I see that a lot of questions are regarding more practical issues such as tuition fees, how the application, the visa processes. I will remind that I've put in the chat the link to the website of Schiller International University, specifically for this master's program. Then there's the contact details, the program details. I'm now also gonna put the UNITAR website where you can find the brochures for this international masters and also contact information for more practical and more specific doubts to be solved. I don't know if any of the panelists would like to answer any other question or if that is okay.
Well,
I think
I
that for yeah, sorry, Miriam.
No, go ahead.
No, it's only I would like to say that if you have more specific information, you can speak with the admissions of the university and they can respond to you without any problem, okay, about it, exactly the tuitions, etc. I think that it's better to speak with the admissions at the university.
Yes, and in addition, this is what I wanted to say, depending on the campus you would like to study at, we will provide many more details on what you'll do, what the conditions are. And you can also, we also sometimes speak with some students. I mean, the faculty is available also when some students have more specific questions. So, but I would recommend to check our website, because you'll also find on our website a blog which is named The Globe, on which you can find all the news of the universities, the activities that we organize, the details of the partnership with UNITAR, in addition to the recording of this webinar, which I think will be made available. So there's plenty of information.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Miriam Bernrad, for these answers. I've also attached in the chat the UNITAR website where you can find the brochures for the program of international relations and diplomacy. And I repeat, as said by Dr. Miriam Bernrad, I also have added the link for Schiller University, where there you can explore Schiller's website, all the information regarding the masters, how it works with alumni, etc. So feel free. I invite you all to visit both of the websites to find more information. I also see in here in the questions and answers that colleague, Ms. Alexandra Aaron, is adding Schiller's admission email. So for contact and more detailed information. I believe we can finish now the webinar here. Thank you for your time and sharing this interesting experience and stories with us. We hope we have give valuable information regarding this master's between Schiller International University and UNITAR. And I repeat, here's the email for Schiller contact and also UNITAR's website and Schiller's website for further information. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.